Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS Epoll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. St. Lucia celebrates Nobel Laureate Month in January with activities highlighting the works of the late Sir Derek Walcott, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1992, and the late Sir Arthur Lewis, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1979. There will be the customary lectures and other activities held throughout the island. This year's lecture will be delivered on Tuesday the 23rd of January, which is Nobel Laureate Day, by Dr. James Fletcher, a former government minister and climate change consultant. So we ask, are you satisfied with the level of programs and activities for Nobel Laureate Month? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
To be honest, no, I'm not fully satisfied. I believe our government officials should sensitize the public and have more outreach programs on our social media platforms, especially the radio, our TV, our internet platforms, to educate our children, especially as to our two Nobel Laureate winners. And as a small country, that is a great accomplishment.
Currently, I am hearing, but I believe we can hear more. Like yesterday, big up to Mr. Jimmy Fletcher. He had a good lecture yesterday on the Nobel. But I believe they should start from the primary school, even from the infant school going up, so that the kids can know. It's not easy to have two Nobel laureates in your country or your community, I can say, and we have two Nobel laureates in St. Lucia. I believe more should be done about that, and the schools need to take, I think, even have it as a subject to know more about our Nobel laureates in St. Lucia.
I support the programs and I respect the laureates too. But we St. Lucians don't appreciate and don't play enough parts when it comes to the laureates. Like I would say too, like we have the Queen's face on every dollar. You alright? And it's time we should get the Queen's face off the dollars and keep our laureates and our main men in the Caribbean, you understand? On the dollars than the Queen. We don't do enough for the laureates in St. Lucia.
First and foremost, St. Lucians are very divisional. We are not very patriotic. We just know how to tear each other down. We are not patriotic. Because I think we have two Nobel laureates, one in literature and the other one in finance. For such a economics, such a small nation like ourselves, there are big countries that don't even have that. And we should be lifting these people up for the small nation that we are. How about 200,000 people? 200,000? We should be doing more. You know, we should be doing more. We really don't do that. We should be a little more patriotic.
They don't need to wait for 1 month. They need to be promoting these two guys on a yearly basis. And also they need to be promoted in the schools, because with the global situation where the economies is concerned, so I felt it was in economics. So they need to be pushing economics more into the schools. They need to be pushing literature more because I realize that the children nowadays, with the advent of social media and the cell phone, they barely read. So they don't have to wait for 1 month. Push and promote those guys on a yearly basis. And St. Lucia is very fortunate, and it is very rare, even in the big countries, but a little island like St. Lucia, to have two Nobel laureates.
Oh yes, definitely I am, because I mean the public is sensitized. Every time you watch the news, you hear it over social media all over the place. And even last weekend there was Pinda Village in Library, which I find was very successful. The event is getting bigger and better every year, so I like the initiative. May they keep it up. Yeah, and I find they should even go a little further by going to the various schools and letting the children know that, educate the children about that. They should even make it a subject in the schools.
Thanks for those responses. Now to our new discussion. Jubilation for Caribbean cricket fans as the West Indies broke a quarter-of-a-century losing streak in Test cricket in Australia on Sunday. The victory for the West Indies on the fourth day of the second Test came in dramatic fashion as their bowlers defended a meagre total against the #1 Test cricket team in the world. Playing in only his second Test and bowling with a broken toe, pacer Shamar Joseph captured 7 wickets and 68 runs. This young West Indies cricket side, without some of its major stars, has been performing credibly in Australia and showing signs of great promise. So we ask, do you think the performance of the West Indies in Australia is a sign of things to come? Voting is easy. Just log on to htsstlucia.org and vote. Remember, our Epoll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.